And so with that, I'd like to go ahead and pass this over to you, Eamon.
Okay, thank you, John. Thanks for that introduction as well. Delighted to be here this evening with you all. So a bit of background on myself. So I was the founder and CEO of a company called EMIT. We were a managed service provider and CSP based in Dublin in Ireland. We had that business for about 15 years, and we actually have gone through a couple of transformations. So our first transformation was back around 2012, early 2013, when Microsoft made a call for the new age cloud partner to step up, to be able to bring it into a new world of monthly recurring revenue, of CSP, of Office 365. And our traditional business in EMIT was based on a consultancy model, and we didn't have a legacy hardware business, so we were able to step up and change our whole business model and change the way we dealt with cloud and how we delivered services to customers. And that recognition then and that change was very successful for us. We built out a really good recurring revenue base. At the time, it was probably about 70% of our overall revenue, and we got recognized, which was the big milestone in our business. Was we were recognized by Microsoft in 2016 as Global Partner of the Year for SMB Cloud Solutions. So I suppose we've done one transformation, and we're in the middle of doing another. And the next transformation is really around the foundation of our new business called Hikari Data Solutions. And we saw a lot of trends in the market through working with Microsoft and working with various customers and organizations that data was the new oil, as to say. And so far as so much that how much we believed in data, that we sold the core business and we sold EMIT and spun out this data business concentrating on data analytics, business intelligence, and CRM, and we launched that in August of last year. So that's what we do at the core. You see there, Microsoft and Nimble are two of our core partners in delivering these services. And really what I want to tell you about today is about how we transformed our own business, and how we formed the new entity called Hikari. So like many of you may be on the call, these services will be quite familiar to you, and this was EMIT was at its core. We were 15 years providing these services around four key pillars of cloud, infrastructure, security, and business productivity, all matched and supported by a range of managed services. And you see there in the bottom left hand corner, we exited EMIT in July of this year. And unlike John, I didn't take 10 years off. I would have loved to, but we got straight back in the saddle. So I took 3 days off. I brought my family on holiday to Nice in France, and away we went again and formed Hikari. So I suppose the reason we did it, and one of the realizations they had, was when I looked at how we operated as an organization. So we were coming in as a much leaner organization in Hikari than we were in EMIT. But I stepped back and I said, how do all our customers and contacts interact with us? How do we gain insights? How do we do deals and opportunities? How do we log support tickets? How do we interact all across the board with our customers and various third parties that we dealt with? And you see there with the various ones that I'm bringing up, and a lot of these will perhaps be familiar to you, those on the call. But there was a lot of things. There was Office 365, there was Autotask, ConnectWise, Skype for Business, WhatsApp messages, Twitter messages, LinkedIn requests, etc. And it was quite cumbersome to try and manage all that. And my concern was that we weren't able to manage those interactions effectively. And importantly, one way from our sales and marketing, but also from how we connected with our customers. We want to make sure that all our team were on the same page and they were aware of all the interactions we were having with the customers. There's nothing worse than going to a customer and saying, we haven't been with you in a while, and then somebody might say, well, actually, your colleague John was with me last week, and we didn't know that information with ease across all the disparate systems that we had. And as you can see there from that slide, our sales and marketing team, it was a real challenge. Selling and marketing to people is difficult enough without having multiple data locations. So we wanted to try and bring that all together, was ultimately the aim what we were doing. And if I look at as an organization, and this was both what we were doing in EMIT, but also what we were doing with our customers and the challenges they had. We had siloed customer communications across those various platforms that I mentioned. My concern was around missed leads and opportunities. Were we seeing everything? Were we grabbing all the ways and opportunities you had to sell to our customers, or all those interactions they were having around requests? I was concerned that we were missing them. Data entry was quite cumbersome, and yes, we were a Dynamics house, and we were selling Dynamics to a large amount of our customers. But like our customers and like the whole Irish landscape, we were an SMB as well, and we just found it quite difficult to try and build a bespoke process around Dynamics, and to have the time and resources and energy to put into that. And yet, I didn't have the slickness of being, and I've been responsible for sales and business development in all my businesses over the last 15, 16 years. And I found then, and many of the, I know in the call will relate to this, when you get a deal, when you get an opportunity that's real, you're really excited. You walk out of the meeting, and it might take you 20 minutes to input all that information into a CRM system, by which time the buzz of the deal is gone. And I was worried that data entry and that cumbersome approach was affecting us and our sales team. And as John would know, myself and John interact quite a lot over social. Social was really how we got recognized at a global level. Through techniques around social, whether LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, we got recognized by a lot of people across the globe for what we're trying to do in terms of digital marketing, getting our word out there. And that lack of social integration in CRM again worried me. The complex workflows was making it difficult for people to sell and interact with our customers. And we didn't have that one thing, that one single source of the truth. That we want that one place to go. So I was delighted when this opportunity came, because we had some challenges, and we knew our customers and our target customers in the SMB market had some challenges. And like you, I had concerns perhaps about Office 365. Were we just transacting licenses? Were we not able to bolt on additional services and value add that not only would make us valuable to our customer, but would create that stickiness to make sure that our competitors weren't able to come in and take that business from us. So we found Nimble. We found that one single place to integrate, and our one source of the truth, as I said earlier. So like you can see in this slide, we had all our information over on the left hand side around Excel, Outlook, even post-it notes, as you see there, and we integrated it all in one solution with Nimble. And the advantage for us, as John said earlier, is there's probably north of 140 apps that it integrates with. So all those other apps and systems we had all now integrate seamlessly with bi-directional support and bi-directional data transfer to allow us to easily have that single place to go for all our information. And for us now in Hikari, we also have a big data business. So you see there on the right hand side around the likes of Flow and Power Apps, and particularly Power BI, and now we can put Power BI on top of the data we're showing our customers to give them really rich information and reports, and show them exactly, when we have all that data together, the value that we can bring to our customers. So this is where I start my day now, and I used to start my day in Outlook, and maybe we lived in Outlook, and email is great, but it does kill time, and it takes a lot of our attention away. Nowadays, I have two places where I start. I start in the central screen to tell me what I need to do, what deals are going on with me and my team, what tasks I have, and it gives me up-to-date information of my entire environment. And the other screen I have is a Power BI dashboard. So it's not to say we're not going to use ConnectWise, or we're not going to use Autotask and those other tools that I mentioned, but now I've got another Power BI dashboard which reports on all this information, whereby I take in Nimble information, and I take in information about Autotask and what's core to my business, and essentially what are the things that keep me up awake at night as a CEO and owner. But if I was to say what's the one thing that attracted me to Nimble first off, apart from that simple smart approach, it was this. That problem I had earlier that I saw in my business, but also in my customer's business, that cumbersome approach to adding in deals and adding in leads and opportunities into a CRM system was taken away with Smart Contacts and the Nimble toolbar. So if you see here, we're working off a contact there, Ross Keating. So the scenario will be if I met Ross and Ross was interested in doing business with me, all I have to do when I'm finished that meeting, I go on to LinkedIn or Twitter for that matter, or other social feeds. But in this case, we look at LinkedIn. I take in Ross's information. The Smart Contacts app and toolbar in Nimble drags all that information in from me. Within a click of a button, Ross, his business, and everything I need to know about him are all in my CRM. Within a few seconds, I'm now adding a lead or an opportunity to Ross, and I'm done. So the 20 minutes I was spending before, I now have that information done, stored, and ready to go in a minute. This is hugely intuitive, and the rich data that now provides our customers gives me this interface about Ross. So look what I have about Ross now. I have all his business information, his key information around his number, his numbers, his phone numbers, his email. I have all his social interaction. So very important as I go into meetings now, I always check Nimble to see what are the customers talking about. Because if your customer is talking about something, it's obviously important to them. And the fact that you're able to recognize that and have that information to them when you walk into a meeting, of course they want to hear it back, because it was obviously important enough to tweet about or put across social media. So they want to hear it back. And the fact that you have that information with the customer, that further solidifies the relationship in my view. And if I look at another concern, and many in the call, like, I don't know how you handle, but we were a relatively smaller organization, so leads to us was very important. We put a lot of effort into search engine optimization. We were very active on social, so a lot of leads came in that way. But maybe they might come in through our website and a generic email address, which could be, could have been marketing or help at whatever domain you had, .ie.com. And in Emit and in Hikari, we have a joint mailbox, and we have a shared mailbox for that to come in. My worry is we all get enough emails as it is in the day. That lead can easily get lost, by somebody who might be, too busy out at meetings, etc. What I really like about Nimble now, what we do is when that email comes in, we automatically go into the smart contact piece in Nimble. That information is dragged in and added as a lead straight away. So if one of my colleagues is too busy to address that, at least me or one of my other colleagues can see it's an active lead in Nimble. So we're back to that single source of the truth. Emails and leads and opportunities no longer get buried in email. And the calendar integration, so obviously with Office 365, that full integration, that flow of data that we have now with Nimble enriches the calendar information that I have when I go and do a deal. So all that information is dragged in. I'm prepped. I'm ready to go. It will recognize I'm going to meet somebody, prompt me with their information, and then more importantly, then it tracks the meeting itself and has all that restored in Nimble, so myself and my colleagues can see when we interacted with that customer last. And there's a really neat tool that we use and feature in the app. So the app is very functional. You'll see a lot of the rich functionality in the app that you would see in web-based application of Nimble, and I really like it because there's always important things we have to remember about a meeting. So a few minutes after every meeting I have, the Nimble app prompts me and says what was important and what worth remembering about that meeting, some key points that you can get in and actions. So we use that quite a lot. And another one I always point out, and we saw this across our customer base, but also ourselves as well. If you think of Emit, our previous business, we had 15 years of contacts that were eventually taken from an on-prem Exchange server and put up to Office 365 a number of years previously. All those contacts are key, but we don't pay enough attention to them. Now, what we've done is we've synced all those contacts from Office 365 all the way up to Nimble, and the data is enriched then as well as we add to those contacts as well. And there's another really cool feature in Nimble, I have to say, as well, in the Today homepage, which we use as well, and it's probably a bit about AI and smarts, but also based on keywords, that if I know and I see what kind of business I'm doing and key people that I'm dealing with in an organization, Nimble would then suggest to me contacts that we've imported from Office 365, contacts I should reach out to on that basis of deals that we previously done, or in fact some of the deals that we've done past, or some of the criteria that we have around those past deals. And again, Teams and Skype. So sure, many of you using Office 365 have used Skype in the past, and predominantly Teams these days as well. But again, look at that interaction. That's important key information that would have been over a chat message and conversations that we can drag in and take into the Nimble record now. Again, enriching all that data and giving us one source of the truth. And Dynamics, is something we actually still have a Dynamics instance which holds some of our data. But as you can see here on the right hand side, the Nimble toolbar and small contact apps further enriches the data that we have in Dynamics. So as John alluded to earlier, it's not that you literally have to throw one system out. It's that you can use them in tandem with each other and use all the rich features of Nimble to further empower your dynamic instance. Again, maybe like some of you, Xero is a popular accounting package, and I was also concerned in the previous business that we had that there's a lot of key actions and key information that the finance people in our organization find out from our customers. Very often we would find that a lead and opportunity could actually be unearthed by the finance person just with conversations they might be having around even simple things like a payment or an invoice, and just as the conversation goes. So now you can see with that Nimble information that can easily from that screen be transacted across Nimble and get that key piece of information across to our sales and business development teams. And we were over the years an Autotask and ConnectWise user, and again, as you can see, the integration that the guys in Nimble have built further enriches that information that you're getting in ConnectWise, and also that key information that your service team are putting in tickets and various other interactions that they have with the customer can easily now be come across over to your Nimble instance, and further, again, as I always say, enrich that data and the power of it. And I think the important thing for me, when we talk about why are we doing this? Why do we want all this data? Well, we've seen it, very much now in Hikari, in our new business. Excuse me, we have a different model. we are now very vertical focused. We are building solutions around CRM and around BI that allows us to target certain verticals. But you can only do that when the data is there, when you have a full enrichment of your data to be able to make those business decisions about your organization and to build your strategy around that. And more importantly, once you do it yourself, you're far better placed to sell that to your customers and advise them on the best way to move forward. And that's what we've done with great success in both our businesses. Excuse me. And as I mentioned earlier, the mobile app. And you can see here the sales pipeline visibility. And this is something that I really like. If I looked at one of the mistakes we made in Dynamics, it was trying to build too big of a complex sales process. We tried to match it to our P&L at times to make sure that our line items are all matched up. Again, it was stopping people from selling. So what we did was with Nimble, we built out a simple sales process. The functionality you're seeing here across the web page is it's drag and drop. So making it really easy for me to drag that from qualification to decision to needs analysis to value proposition out to closing. So I really like that piece, and let's make it easy. That's what we try to do. Let's make it easy for our salespeople and our biz dev people to enter deals, because the easier it is, the more they do, and that's the simple strategy that we build out. And you'll also see then, one of the things, the mistakes and the concerns I had about our business. I was in a meeting previously in the old business, and we had opened up our business solutions division 3 or 4 years ago, and that took in data and BI and CRM, etc. But one customer said to me when we said, we're actually in the CRM game now, and we're in business intelligence, and they said, we didn't know he did that. As a CEO or a founder of a business, that's the worst thing you can have one of your existing customers say to you, that they don't know the service that you provide. And with that, we built out a really good, simple marketing and group message campaign where we give insightful information to our customers now to tell them what we're doing, tell them how we're getting on, about the new service that we're delivering, the successes that we've had, and further enlighten them in terms of getting an outreach piece. And as we all know, it's far easier to sell to an existing customer than it is to try and generate business from a brand new one. So that should wrap me up there. John, will I hand back over to you?